Jesus is called the mighty God. Prove me wrong. If Jesus isn't God, why does the prophet Isaiah call him the mighty God? How could this title, reserved only for God, apply to a child born in Bethlehem? Let's dive into a prophecy that skeptics can't ignore. The land of Israel was shrouded in darkness and despair. War, oppression, and hopelessness filled the hearts of the people. Yet in the midst of this gloom, a prophecy came, a message so powerful it brought light to the darkest of times. The prophet Isaiah stood before the people, speaking words inspired by God Himself. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. Hope stirred in the hearts of the people. What could this light be? Isaiah's voice rang with confidence as he declared the coming of a child unlike any other. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. A child, a son. How could a child bring salvation to a weary nation? Isaiah's next words silenced every doubt. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. The people stood in awe. This wasn't just any child. This was the one who would embody divine authority, eternal wisdom, and unshakable peace. But one name stood out above the rest: the mighty God. Centuries passed. The prophecy seemed forgotten by some, but others clung to it, waiting for the day when God's promise would be fulfilled. In the quiet town of Nazareth, an angel appeared to a young woman named Mary. Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. Behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. Mary trembled, but believed. Not long after, in a humble stable in Bethlehem, the prophecy of Isaiah came to life. A child was born, the angels sang, the shepherds rejoiced. But who was this child? As Jesus grew, he didn't just teach or heal. He demonstrated the power of the mighty God. He calmed storms with a word, raised the dead with a command, and forgave sins, actions only God could do. The Pharisees challenged him, the crowds questioned him, yet time and again Jesus revealed his divine identity. Years later, the Apostle John reflected on who Jesus was. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. John had no doubt. Jesus was the mighty God Isaiah spoke of. The prophecy of Isaiah wasn't just poetic language. It wasn't symbolic. It was literal. Jesus fulfilled it in every way, the challenge to skeptics. Here's the challenge. If Jesus isn't God, why does Isaiah call him the mighty God? How could a mere man bear a name that belongs only to the Almighty? The skeptics of Jesus' day couldn't explain it. Can you? If Jesus isn't God, prove me wrong. Closing and call to action. Isaiah's prophecy was clear. The child born in Bethlehem would be called the mighty God. Jesus didn't just claim to be God. He lived it, fulfilled it, and proved it. The question is, do you believe it? If you believe Jesus is God, type "Jesus is Lord" in the comments. If you don't, explain this prophecy. For more powerful Bible stories, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Jesus is the mighty God. What will you do with that truth?